one as well. So we're talking Premier League, guys. We're talking Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, all of the guys we play with on FIFA. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Corner Flag. And I want to welcome you to today's episode. And please, guys, like, share, subscribe, and let's get the community growing. And in today's episode, we will be taking an overall look at where we are in South African football. As you know, it is June right now, so we are looking at where we are in terms of milestones. Are we achieving, underachieving? Need to pull our socks up, maybe. But in South African football and just actually global football as a whole on club level, a lot of these competitions are coming to an end. So all of these teams are knowing now, do I win? Do I get a promotion? Am I lifting a trophy? Or am I getting relegated and possibly, preparing myself for some strife that is incoming. So it is a really, really interesting time. And as the end of club football beckons us, we also are faced with international football that is coming up as well. And if you're looking at the South African perspective and looking at where we are, we're looking at the players abroad. A lot of our players actually did win quite a few competitions in their own right. So we're looking at people like Kodisang, who also gained promotion with his team Morense out in Portugal. So next year he will be playing top flight football. He'll be playing against your Portos, your Benficas, your Sporting Lisbons. It's really, really exciting times, guys. So it's really, really exciting to see how he'll do on that front. And his team also exercised the option to bring him on permanently as well. And why wouldn't they? He really, really did well. He got like 13 goals, probably like 5 assists for them in the campaign, and he was a stellar performer and racking up quite a few man of the match performances as well. And we're also talking about Lyle also, who also gained promotion with Burnley into the top flight, and that's a really, really big one as well. So we're talking Premier League, guys. We're talking Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, all of the guys we play with on FIFA. So it's really, really exciting to see the journey that is awaiting for him on that front as well. And the other people who also gained promotion, of course, is who won the league would be Mihlalo Mayambela, who's out here making his mark out in the world. Obviously the younger brother of Mark Mayambela, but also he wants to tell his own story and make his own mark in football as well. And we're really, really happy for him. They will be playing UEFA Champions League qualification football. So if they do qualify, we might be seeing Hugo in the Champions League. So that's really, really good. We haven't really seen that, of course, since Positao and Dino Ndlovu when he was playing for Karabakh out of Azerbaijan. So it's really, really interesting to see what will happen on that front. And we're not forgetting, of course, our girls Linda Motlalo and Ali, who also won the championship as well on their front out in Glasgow for the Scottish League as well. So they really, really did good. Also gearing up for the women's football or the Women's World Cup. The Women's World Cup that they will be playing in later this year. And it's really, really going to be interesting to see how they do out on that front. So they have been consistently qualifying for the World Cup, which is something that we definitely should give Banyana credit for. They're always playing against the best, and so they do get some harsh results sometimes, but they always challenge themselves against the best and getting better as well. You can always see each time they go and play, they have better players, or their players are playing in better leagues as well and are better developed. Thembi Kgatlana has been the talisman for the longest time, but she's been out of action due to injury. But the Banyana team has been quite solid even in her absence. So it kind of shows the kind of growth that they have went through in that time. And we're also talking about the mixed results that we've had on our international football. We're talking about the under-17s and the under-23s. So they didn't do so well in terms of qualifying for the Afcon championships and the Olympic Games that is always open for the under-23s, which is something that we've always qualified for. So it is quite concerning, because the youth teams has always been one of the stronger points that we've had in terms of South African football. So if they're faltering, it does show that something in management isn't quite a miss. And positive side, I would say, probably would be the fact that we do have some European players that seem to be being poached and scouted, and they're being roped in slightly, but it's not really on a big enough scale as much as we'd like. So I think with that happening a little bit more, that will help in the long run, especially if you're talking about developing players and producing players for Bafana, right? And speaking of Bafana as well, they tooth and nail, we made it through to the Afcon that's going to be happening in the Ivory Coast. Somehow we did it. Sometimes it's by hosting, sometimes it's by calculator, sometimes it's by begging some neighbors for a favorable result, but by Bafana in true Bafana fashion, we grinded out the results somehow. So we're really proud of them in that aspect. And we are seeing some call-ups for people like Kodisang, which has been a long time. We've really been advocating for the boy to be roped in, especially since he's been showing his quality since the under 23. So it just shows how much South Africa has a tendency of overlooking their really good players. But it's good now that he's been roped in, and especially if you're looking at the front line of Bafana, it does seem that these guys are getting the acts together. We're looking at, as you said, Kawamelo Kodisang. We are talking a little bit about Tongwane as well, who's been lighting up the MLS as of late, scoring in back-to-back games, assisting as well, especially in the absence of Reynoso, who has been missing in the pivotal role as a number 10. And last season he was their main player and the guy who got most of the results. But Bongi said before he left after the season, like, yo, coach, I'm going to come back next season, I'm going to give you 25 goals. And it seems like he's on track to do that, because man, has this boy been a monster. And it's great to see how much he's elevated his game, and hopefully if he ripens up, we might be seeing him playing in Europe next season. So hopefully that's something that we will be able to witness as well. We're talking about Pesitao as well, who also helped his team get to the CAF Champions League final. Another position that they're unfamiliar with, and fortunately Sundowns, we wish they would have been in that position, but just seems that it wasn't their season this time around. Hard luck, boys, but Masanda wanna never die. We're always in the next season. But yeah, as we said with Percy, he did help his team get to the CAF Champions League final, and hopefully they will be playing in the Club World Cup again. And it will be good news for Bruce as well, because if his forwards are firing on all cylinders, it does mean that we do have a pretty decent chance of putting a good account of us. Also seeing with Lyle, he has been omitted from the game against Morocco, because we have already qualified for the Afcon, of course. But they are talking about the fact that in Burnley, Vincent Company just wants to get him up to speed by giving him a full preseason, because obviously the team was performing at a certain type of level, and Lyle needs to catch up. So having a preseason will be beneficial for him, and hopefully will be beneficial for us, because it means we'll have an even sharper, better, and more hungry Lyle for us. And that's always good for us as well. So if we're looking at the overall mixed results, I guess on the international front, at least our Banyana and Bafana teams, they gave us something to be proud of in terms of qualifying for the major championships. But we do need to look at the youth teams, and especially because they've been traditionally our strongest teams, something needs to happen there. And it just shows that the management, man, something needs to happen with the management. We saw David Notwane left as well, so that does show you that, hey, something something is not really going up to scratch there. So somebody needs to do something, and hey, I'm open for the under 23 position, guys. So you feel like you want a coach, I'm saying I'm ready for the job. Please hire me, and I'll take us to greater heights. But thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the Corner Flag. It has been a pleasure hosting you all today. Please like, share, subscribe, and let's get let's get the community growing, guys. We need a Superman to help South Africa be great again, and we will be those people. So until next time, we will be catching you on our next episode.